and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you have joined me today for another video. My name is Amanda. I am the co-owner of Slow Foods Kitchen, where we make vegan snacks for part-time vegans just like you. You can find our delicious kale chips on Walmart.com, Amazon, on our website, slowfoodskitchen.com. And if you head down to the description box, you will find some goodies and even free kale chips. All right, welcome today, and in today's video, we are going to turn our freshly made soy milk. And if you need a tutorial on how to make this soy milk, I will link this video in the description box below. And if you head over to that video, you will find how you can quickly and easily make fresh soy milk. And in today's video, we are going to be making tofu. And so we're going to basically curdle our soy milk and have tofu. Yes, it's that simple. It'll be delicious, and you might like it over store-bought. And if you think, oh, it's just so much work, I get it. It is kind of, not necessarily a lot of work, but can be time-consuming. You can find favorite brands at your local grocery store. If you're really feeling up for some really good tofu, check out Oda Tofu. I will link them in the description box below. They are America's oldest tofu maker, and it was so good. If I'm in Oregon, that's where I'm going for sure, after all the breweries. Okay, so let's get started. We are making our own soy milk because if you were to buy soy milk, it will contain anticoagulants. And because we want to coagulate the milk and curdle it, you can't use store-bought. So let's get to it. So step number one is we want to take our soy milk that we made and we are going to bring it to a boil. If you like to be precise, you want to heat this to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. But if you don't have a thermometer, that's okay. We're going to bring this milk to a boil, and then we'll take off the heat for about 2 minutes, and then we will begin the coagulating process. Tofu is an excellent vegan and vegetarian source of protein. It has lots of benefits for you. I would recommend, if you are making your own tofu, to use organic soybeans for your soy milk, or if you are buying tofu, I do recommend buying organic tofu. Soybeans can be highly modified, and so we want to avoid that as much as possible. But if you're buying organic beans or organic tofu, you will be able to enjoy all the benefits of soy without those negative, not so good things. So as we bring our soy milk to a boil, it is important that you continually stir for a couple reasons. You don't want the bottom of your pan to burn and form a skin on the bottom, and you also don't want your milk to boil over. Because I am using an electric skillet today, I want to be extra particular and careful to avoid those issues. If you were in your home kitchen and had maybe a gas stove, you might not have as many issues, but you still do want to stir continuously, especially since my soy milk is filling up lots of my pot. We don't want to burn the soy milk because then our tofu will taste off. Okay, so now that our tofu has started to boil, we're going to take it off the heat for just a minute or so, let it cool down, and while we do this, while our soy milk cools off, we're going to prepare our coagulant. So a coagulant is something that makes liquids coagulate. So we are going to use lemon juice. So what this process is going to do is it's going to cause the curds in the milk to come out, and that's the tofu. Just like when you're making cheese, another reason why you use raw milk when making cheese is you don't want any processing to happen to your milk. You draw out the curds, and that's what the cheese is, and the leftovers way. So today we are using lemons to coagulate our tofu. You can use citric acid. There's also some other things you can use. You can also use nigari, which if you're buying traditional tofu like Oda Tofu, that's how they coagulate their tofu. You can find that online, and I will drop some links below for that. A fun fact is that's probably one of the best coagulants for a tofu, but lemons are so accessible and they work just as fine. But when you are making your own tofu, and you can control how much you put in, and if you notice you aren't getting enough curds, you can add more. So so we're going to coagulate. We're going to prepare our lemon juice. You do want to use fresh lemon juice. So I actually made a double milk. I actually made a double batch of soy milk. So generally, I would say the juice of 1 lemon to 5 cups of plain soy milk. And I have about 10 cups, so I'm going to use 2 lemons. Get our fresh lemon juice going. Delicious. These lemons are from Sunny Florida Organics, and they are a company here in Florida, and they will ship you a customized produce box with using produce locally to Florida. And if you're interested, use the promo code New Organic, and you'll get $5 off your first box. And you can also get your kale chips from the same company. Smells good. All right, so our milk should be cooled down just about enough. We will finish juicing our second lemon here. Okay, so we have our lemon juice ready, and we are going to coagulate our soy milk and make tofu. If you're excited as I am, let me know. Put a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, this is really the moment of truth here. So our soy milk has cooled off some. A little steamy, it's been about a minute or so. Let's just give it a taste here. Now if you think, oh, this is way too beany for me, you can cook it longer. But this tastes good. Okay, this is the secret. I almost forgot. You don't want to use just straight lemon juice or even citric acid. You want to mix it with some water. And I was soaking my soybeans here, so I'm just going to add some water from these because I honestly forgot till just now. Okay, about 1/4 cup. So we've got that stirred up. Okay, so when you add the coagulant, you want to stir enough, but not too much and not too little. So we are going to pour our lemon juice in. So I've got the milk right. So we're going to get the milk stirring, making the milk move. Pour in your coagulant, let it evenly distribute. And now, here we go. We're going to stir in a figure 8 motion. And then we are going to stir, get the milk going. Take your spoon out, drop it in, and let the milk just stop. And it's already coagulating. Let me bring you up close so you can see. So as you can see, curds are already beginning to form. So now that our curds are beginning to form, I'm going to cover this and let it just sit for about 10 minutes. So we're gonna let this sit and just hang out and coagulate. The curds come together. So I'm gonna do my dishes and clean up, and I will come back and we will be at the final step of making our tofu. I'm so excited. I'll see you in a minute. All right, this is it. Our tofu has been coagulating. So all the curds have been coming together for about 15 minutes. Let me bring you up close so you can take a gander. So as you can see, all the curds have come together. So as you can see, the curds have literally come together, and that is our tofu. So the next part, and the almost last step, seems like there's always one more step, is to separate the curds from the liquid and then press out the curds, and that is tofu. So here I have an actual tofu press. You do not have to have one of these. I will put links in the description box below where you can find these. By the way, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe so I know that you like this video. Or let me know in the comments other things you want to learn. Back to our tofu press. So this is a tofu press. It's just set up to press out the tofu and give a nice square shape. But you can literally scoop out the curds into a bowl, and then we'll bring the cheesecloth edges together and you'll have tofu. It does not have to be square to be tofu. But I did find this on Facebook for $5, and so that is why I have it. All right, so this is our tofu press. I highly recommend doing this over a sink or in a tray because you're gonna have a lot of liquid coming out. So with the tofu press, it has the base and the edges, and it'll come with the cheesecloth, and if it doesn't, you simply lay the cheesecloth into the block. It is a pretty big block, so you may find that your one batch of tofu doesn't really fill it up, which is why I'll usually make 2 or 4 batches at a time, and that way I have a lot of tofu to last me for a while. So we are going to scoop out our curds. Oh, they're just so pretty. And I do have this on a cookie sheet because I'm not doing it over the sink and I don't want the liquid to be all over the place. So we're simply going to take our curds, scoop them out, and put them into the box. If you notice that your coagulant did not make enough curds, or you didn't really come together very well, you may simply need to add a little bit more. Which is the really cool thing about making your own tofu, is that you can control how much coagulant you use. One of the reasons that Oda tofu is so good, despite being produced on a large scale, is they make their tofu like this. They stir in the coagulant by hand, and they just put so much love into it. I would highly recommend checking them out. It's really cool. All right, so we're gonna get all of our curds scooped into our box. You don't wanna leave any curds. I probably could have put a little bit more lemon juice so that the curds held together a little bit better here towards the end, but it will be okay. This is a really great way to make your own food, and it's also a really cool science project for the kids with a really great byproduct of tofu. I want to get out as much curds as possible, so I'm going to switch to a ladle with holes in a slotted spoon. I couldn't think of that earlier. All right, we have all of our curds in our press. So now the last step, seriously the last step here, well, sorry. After this step, we're going to put our tofu in cold water. All right, so we are going to pull up the edges and let the water come out. Give it a head start. I like this press because it has little feet on it, but my cookie sheet is filling up. So after this step, I am going to dump out the cookie sheet when we get there, so we can make sure all the water has room to come out. So we are going to fold the tofu, we're going to fold the cheesecloth over the tofu in a nice tight square. And then we are going to take the lid of our press and put it on the tofu. And now at this point, we want to let it press. And you can, again, control how much water comes out. The more water you press out, the firmer your tofu will be. I personally like a firm tofu, it makes it great to cook with. And you'll want to put some weight. I have my soybeans soaking to make more soy milk in that. I'm going to put that right on top. And you can let this set for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. So I'm going to let this set a little bit, and then I will come back and I will show you the final product of tofu. All right, so our tofu has been pressing for about 30 minutes. As you can see, I added a jar of coconut manna to give my press a little bit more weight to make sure to get lots of water out. I like a firm tofu. So we are going to set it aside our cookie sheet, which did a great job of collecting all of the liquid. And this is the moment of truth. So we're going to take off the top, separate our press, unfold our tofu, and admire our beautiful work. Look at that beautiful tofu. So it seems pretty firm. It probably could press a little bit longer. So if you want a firmer tofu, it could press longer. But that's it, that's our tofu. Now, the last step is we're going to store this in cool water, and this is also an important part of the step, is that after you've pressed your tofu, so it actually started to crumble a little bit there, which means it could press for longer, but that's okay. Oh, look at that beautiful block of tofu. It smells good. Now we're gonna let it cool in, again, clean filtered water. And this is also how we will store it in the fridge, is in water. Just like that, and that is our tofu. So congratulations, you have learned how to make homemade tofu and also homemade soy milk. Again, I will link that video below, and I think it's up in the corner. I'll be able to link that video for you too in the cards. Give it a taste. Unlike store-bought, highly automated tofu, it has a nice flavor to it. Oh, I am gonna go cook it right now. I'm kind of a lazy tofu eater sometimes. I'll just cut this into cubes, put some cornstarch on, and either put it in the air fryer or the toaster oven, or I'll saute it on the stove. There are, of course, so many other ways to enjoy tofu. Give it a try. I would also, if you're into experimenting, try this recipe with different coagulants, and you'll notice each one will give a different flavor. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below, and let me know if you have questions or if you are ready to make your own tofu. I will see you in the next video. Have a great Friday.